Let's talk about your Yankees. Yankees pull out another one. Any win at this point in the season is a big win. Red Sox lose. They lose a half game in the standings, but we'll talk about them in a second. What did you see from Will Warren last night? Was it a great performance? Was it an okay performance? What was it as good as Ryan Weathers' performance the other night? Who's in the leaderboard right now or in the clubhouse for a role in the postseason in the rotation?
Come on now, Rob. You know how I feel about this.
I know you're not a big Will Warren fan.
I am not a huge Will Warren fan. Again, nothing personal. I'm a Yankees fan. I call it how I see it.
You just want
games
good
every
play.
night. I want good pitching, consistency, reliability, especially given the fact we're headed towards the postseason. It's quickly approaching us.
Yep.
This is the time of the season where, as a Yankees fan, you want to see every day, every 5 days when he gets rolled out there, that he can be trusted to go 5, 6, maybe even 7. I know that's rare now, but maybe even 7 innings of low run, low damage pitching baseball. We don't want to see him give up 5 earned, 4 earned, and then you're getting pulled out of the game by the 4th inning like we've seen from him as of lately.
Well, the Yankees don't score a lot of 4 or 5 runs right now with no Bellinger, no Aaron Judge, no Stanton. So it's like, listen, you've got to keep teams under 4 runs or the Yankees are going to be scrambling at the end of the game.
I want to shout out the starting rotation, including the bullpen as of late. The fact that this team has stayed afloat and stayed competitive in the division of the AL East without the likes of Judge, Bellinger, and Stanton for so long is a huge testament to the starting pitching rotation to keep them afloat, because we're winning a lot of games by 1 run where they're going out there and we're getting quality outing after quality outing, only allowing 1 or 2 runs from the opposition, sometimes shutting other teams out, giving this offense that's been anemic as of late an opportunity to win ball games.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this for months. You got to win series, and when you don't win a series, you got to at least try to salvage a game here and there, and they've done that as well. But you look at the Mariners, they take that series. The Braves, they take that series. The Blue Jays, they lost that, but they salvaged a game, which led to taking the series against the Orioles, and then they play them again tonight at 6:35. But at this point in the season, it's a numbers game. You're looking at the scoreboard. You're seeing what the other team's doing. I agree with you on the starters. The issue that I have, even with the Rodon start, is that now somebody's got to get 3 more outs or get 6 more outs, and then are they not available for Will Warren's start? And it's funny because I do love the Red Sox, and the Yankees do a better job of this, by the way, than the Red Sox. They will put it up every game, the usage of the bullpen. Now, remember, when I played, it was 5 guys, okay? And really, we had 3 closers and 2 long men. Now, you got probably 4 long men and 4 closers. And obviously, Bednar's getting all the glory and the saves, but you're from the 6th inning on, you're going, okay, we got 9 outs left, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 outs left. Who's going to get those? You brought up a great point with Yarborough versus who's the other lefty?
Hedrick.
Hedrick's been lights out all year. He's your left-handed setup guy. From the 6th inning on, he knows if it's a tie game or we're up a run or down a run, he's got the ball. He's got to give us an opportunity to win that game. Okay? Mostly we'd like him to bridge to Bednar, but you have Cruz as well. You lost Duvall, which I thought he was a pretty decent guy as well. So when you're starting to mix and match, it's not as much as the way they used to do it with myself and other lefties, where you're like, you might come in and get 2 lefties, and then I'll come in and get a couple of righties. Now you have to face 3 guys. So it's a little bit more strategic how we bring these guys in. We don't want Hedrick to have to face 3 righties in a row, 3 guys that are, bangers in the middle of the lineup. So what you're trying to do every game, and I don't talk about this enough, but this is the way we looked at the batting orders. Our starters would have to go through the order 3 times, then turn it over to the bullpen. Now it's like 2.5, and you don't want the lineup for the other team to turn over by the 6th or 5th inning. If it turns over into a 3rd time by the 5th inning, you're screwed, because now it might be a 4th time coming up in the 8th and 9th inning, and that creates difficulties in how you mix and match lefties and righties. okay, it's turning over. Now we got the top of the order. I don't want this guy, who's maybe my fourth guy out of the bullpen, to have to face the meat of the order. So then I have to use somebody, and that's when you will see a Hedrick or you'll see somebody that good come in the sixth inning of a game. Because now we got to kill the rally. We got to snuff it out to win the game. And that changes your plans, because these teams are big on scripts. We weren't. God, we had Lou Piniella. Lou Piniella sometimes would screw up the
lineup card?
The double switch.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes he'd have, one of our pitchers leading off the next inning, and they'd be, oops, we screwed that up. Anyway, today's guys, they have it scripted going into the game. Who's going to be in the sixth? Who's going to be in the seventh in these scenarios? And you see the same thing with the defense. They've got all the scenarios right there on an index card, and it's gotten to the point where it's almost as complex as football. Which, again, I've said many times, it shouldn't be. I should know how to play these guys if I'm an outfielder. I'm listening to what exactly how to play somebody, whether it's up the middle, whether it's, and this happened in the Red Sox. The Red Sox pulled the infield in the extra innings, and the jam shot by Arenado barely cleared the dirt, and a run came in when Chapman was in the game. Yep. And if I'm Chapman, I'm chapped, because if you have them midway, that ball is caught. Midway, you could still throw the guy out at home. So undermanaging, overmanaging cost the Red Sox a game yesterday. Aaron Boone, I felt that Aaron Boone outmanaged the Orioles manager. And a lot of that has to do with, again, going into the game, if Will Warren can keep us 3 or 4 runs and come out around the sixth inning. And listen, the way they're taking these guys out now, they baby them so much. When they get to 80 pitches, 85 pitches, they're already looking to yank them out of the game because they're so into their bullpens. But you've seen how many Yankees have come up and down from the minor leagues, how many Red Sox pitchers have come up and down from the minor leagues, how many we traded for guys in the middle. I think it's Miller, Eric Miller, that the Red Sox traded for, and he's excellent. But there was a reason for that, because we'd already used up guys from the seventh inning on. Yeah. So knowing that, when you're looking at a game now, watch the batting order. When a guy walks 2 or 3 guys early in the game, that lineup's going to turn over quicker than you planned on, and that might change who comes out of the bullpen in the sixth inning.
Yeah, it's an interesting way of looking at it, something that you might not keep an eye on typically. But like you said, normally, for at least the analytics support this, most of the time when a starting pitcher gets to the turning over the lineup against the opposition the third time, that third time through the order is not pretty most of the time.
No, the batting average goes from like 200 to 320.
Exactly.
And so, but here's the problem. The bean counters, the accountants, the analytics people, they're panic-stricken. But there's some games where you look at it, and let's say Nicky Nukes is out on the mound and he's had a great time going through the batting order, and it's 2-1.
6 shutout innings.
6, all right, it's 2-0.
I'm throwing gas out there.
It's 2-0. But we know that when you get to the third time through the batting order, the batting average jumps 100 points.
Yep.
So as soon as we get there, instead of saying let's let him go hitter to hitter, they just yank you. And what that does, though, for the other team that you've just shoved for 6 shutout innings,
yep,
they're like, thank God you got Nicky Nukes out of the game. Bring in whoever. It doesn't matter who you bring in. You're gone.
Yeah.
And that's the mistake that so many of these guys make, because they look at the numbers too hard. Sometimes you got to get a feel for it and say, no, I'm going to go with Nicky a little bit longer here. That way I save arms out in the bullpen. And if I could get him through this inning, maybe even if he gets hit hard, and you know it. You're watching shots go to the warning track, and you're like, yeah, it's time to go get him.
I'm losing it. Yeah.
He's losing it. But you get like a weak ground ball or a 2-strike weak hit, a flare. He's still hitting his spots. He's still locating. He looks good. Let's get him through the 6th inning. Let's get him through the 7th inning. And, a couple nights ago, that was Tolley. But last night, Tolley didn't have it going through the second time. So then you come and you get him. And the Red Sox came back in that game, tie it up, and then they screw it up because in the last 6 outs, the manager doesn't want to get Tracy doesn't want to get somebody up in the bullpen. And honestly, I loved Pete Rose. I love Lou Piniella. I played for Phil Garner. I played for Tony Perez, Davey Johnson. They all, yes, I complained because my arm was falling off, but they got me up, at least standing there. They'd be like, stand on the rubber. If I need you to get quick in 10 pitches or less, you're there. These guys, oh my God, they've got to put the pitch comm in their hat or give their hat to the bullpen guy. They got to get a sip of water. They are the slowest creatures I've ever seen.
The resistance
That's
bands.
right. So exactly. I got to start doing some stuff, 2 innings before I might even step up on the rubber. So, Tracy's got to get guys up earlier. And this is an audition. This is basically an audition for the postseason.
Yeah.
You should be getting this stuff done now instead of, game 145. We blew that game when we should have won it at home. I'd rather play an extra inning game at home than play it on the road because I have last ups. Yesterday when I'm watching him leave that guy in there with the bases loaded, gives up a hit. All of a sudden now you're down 6-5. Now you're down 7-5. Now I'm going to get a guy up in the bullpen. Well, you should have already had 2 guys up in the bullpen when that guy walked the bases loaded.
Why do you think he's so gun shy? Like, on the outside looking in,
it's an arm race, Nick.
It seems like
we're trying to save guys 10 warm-up pitches. At this point in the season, you can't save 10 warm-up pitches.
You got to think you'd want to have some sort of contingency plan in case things go off the tracks with the starting pitcher, right?
But Andrew Bailey's a young pitching coach. You've got a AAA manager that has come up to the major leagues, done a fabulous job. I'll give you all of that kind of stuff. But now every game is meaningful from this point on. Every game to hold on to your wild card spot, every game that we can pick up on Tampa Bay when they lose, we got to win.
Yep.
Every game the Yankees lose, we got to win. And so you manage like it's a Game 7 scenario instead of yesterday just sitting there chewing your gum and watching the game go along, and this guy's walking the house, and people are getting edgy. Because they know you should have somebody up in the bullpen. The bullpen knows somebody should be warming up. And it happened too late, and they ended up giving up 2 runs. They score a run in their bottom half, and they lose 7-6.
Rays, if we're looking at the daytime scoreboard right now, they're trailing 5-1 right now to Toronto. So for the Yankees with Garrett Cole on the mound tonight,
the Red Sox have an off day today.
Yeah, so
which makes last night even more important.
Exactly, one less opportunity, right? In real time, we're looking at an opportunity for the Yankees that the Boston Red Sox won't be, having that chance tonight. The Yankees, if they can get Garrett Cole out there, have him do his thing, get 5-6 good innings out of him. Pass the baton to the bullpen, close that game out, and sweep the Baltimore Orioles. If Toronto can hold on and the Rays lose again, that's another step up. You're right back on their tail. You're closing the gap to the division lead. It's a big, big opportunity for the New York Yankees tonight.
Yeah, we got 35 games left. And honestly, when there's 35 games left, we've got to win. In my brain, we got to win 25 to 30 of those.
Yeah.
In order for us to have, control our own destiny, we've got to win 35 of those. And the Red Sox are capable of that. The Yankees are capable of that. Tampa Bay is capable of that. Right now, Tampa Bay is not playing great baseball. This is when you do scoreboard watch.
Yep.
Right now there's Yankees at they're already at the field. They start the game in a little bit more than 3 hours. These guys, if they're taking batting practice right now, the guys in the outfield are glued on the scoreboard, and that game is on. They're watching the Rays game right now, going, all right, and then you go in the locker. Yeah, come on, Blue Jays, help us out.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. I want to circle back real quick while we're on the topic. You were talking before about, relievers and closers and the idea of getting warm. And then we were also talking about the starting pitchers and how the third time through the lineup, historically speaking, is not great for the starting pitchers. We see all of the offensive analytics skyrocket from batting average, slugging percentage, the whole bit. Do you think it's equal parts fatiguing as the game gets later on by the time we reach the third time the lineup turns over? Or do you think it's more so they've gotten a read on you, they've seen your pitches a dozen times now throughout the course of the ball game? Do you think it's equal parts, or do you think it's more so one way or another?
No, I think mentally guys are fried. I think physically, you're already into 4.5, 5 months of pain and suffering. Some guys have come back from injuries and stuff like that. Garrett Cole tonight. Garrett Cole is so happy to get the ball every fifth day that he wants to battle. He's chomping at the bit to get out there, whether he throws 95 or he throws 92. That's like the whole thing with Paul Skeens. The difference between 99 and 97 in his brain is nothing. He doesn't know that unless you tell him. He's not flipping around and going, "Oh man, that was 97. I can't believe." He don't care. He knows what he's got, what he doesn't have. And these guys at this point know, I don't have my best stuff right now.
Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't bother most guys. That's why Cole is making what Cole is making. That's why these guys are so good. I looked at Ohtani's pitching numbers, and I read somebody said something stupid online, and I'm like, out of his 14 starts this year, he's gone past the sixth inning 12 times. He is one of the most dependable starters you can throw out there. I don't care if it's regular season, postseason. I can count on Ohtani to be ready. He's not going to go out there if he's not ready. That's what I look at. When I look at aces will take the ball and win. Did you see the whole thing with Max Scherzer? His meltdown?
I have not.
Oh, my God. He called one of his players. He says he's the worst defender I've ever played with.
Wow.
Guy dropped the ball for Toronto with the bases loaded yesterday, and Max had a meltdown. Now, Max should probably be seeing a therapist at this point, but that's the intensity that you can expect out of a guy that is an aging veteran, an aging superstar that has lost a little bit. He wants every out. He wants every run saved. He wants to win every game, whether he's on Toronto or whether he's on the Dodgers. Doesn't matter. Max Scherzer thinks that he should be winning every game. That's what I'm talking about. So Max doesn't have nearly the stuff he had 5-10 years ago. But Max Scherzer mentally, he'll fight anybody at any time. That's the mentality that a great pitcher has versus a guy who's got great stuff, but he's still a thrower.
I think in Max Scherzer's case, it's a little bit different, obviously, with Ohtani and Skeens, like you said, guys who are in their prime currently. They're still battling.
They can
every
make
outing.
mistakes and survive.
Correct. But with Max Scherzer, like you said, he understands at age 41 or 42, whatever have you, that he doesn't have that same sort of electric movement and velocity that he had earlier in his career. So he understands the value of getting those outs. And when there's outs that should be made that are left on the field, that's what's going to really, anger him, because he knows he's got to work harder now at this stage in his career to get those outs back and keep his team in the ball game.